Hello, hello, and thank you for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Now, what the hell is that?
You know, it just feels so good to be able to kick your feet up after a week's work and just lay in your comfortable bed and watch a good movie. And when I learned about the existence of Race with the Devil, a mid-70s flick mixing folk horror, devil worshipping, the dusty roads of the American South, 12-gauge shotgun action, and both Peter Fonda and Warren Oates in the starring roles,
All right, Sunshine, where is he?
who desperately needed a paycheck,
Yeah, I'm getting too old for this shit.
I thought I was going to have myself a very good time. Well, believe me, it wasn't long before the credits rolled down that I realized I had in fact bitten into a chocolate-covered shit bar. I really don't see why this film gets so much praise. It's got a decent rating on IMDb, great suspense flick, and Rosemary's Baby meets The Hitcher, great little 70s horror road flick.
Really?
With all honesty, I can't relate one bit. This movie is anything but great in my humble opinion. It's an empty shell with humongous pacing issues, and I can't begin to tell you guys how severely disappointed I was. But just before I cast this movie down to hell, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on Race with the Devil.
No way. No way.
The premise is quite simple. 4 friends rent an RV and go on a road trip through the southern United States. While stationed one night in the middle of the wilderness, the 2 men witness a satanic ritual where a woman is murdered as part of the sacrifice.
An orgy, maybe?
Yeah.
Huh? Let me look.
It's not long before our 2 unlucky characters are spotted and those hellions start chasing after them. And let me tell you, those satanic people are built different, because they'll stop at nothing to kill our main characters, even if that means hanging on to the RV, tracking them down for days, and going on dangerous vehicle chases to get them.
You'd have to be crazy to try a stunt like that.
Now, as silly as this may sound, the story is kind of interesting, but the problems here boil down to one big culprit, the script.
And I'm very sorry this happened so close to our little town.
This isn't an awful movie in the sense that it's full of bloopers and bad production values. In fact, this is a fairly well-made movie. There are a few cool car stunts, and the acting is decent, even if the character Alice does a lot of screaming, and I mean a lot of screaming. No, the main issue is the frightening amount of filler, and the inconsistent tone, which really raised my eyebrows. For example, I would have liked to learn more about the cult, learn who they are, what motivations are driving them to commit these heinous acts, what's their history. There is a brief mention of witchcraft after one of the assailants leaves a mysterious note with ruins and weird symbols.
Witchcraft. It's some kind of message.
There's also talk of ancient Aztec rituals, and then they drop it and never mention it again. There's no meat on the bone, and the movie is not even interested in answering its own questions. The film tried to ride on that feeling that anyone could be a potential cult member in the town, even authority figures like the sheriff, to give off that idea that nowhere is safe.
I tell you, buddy, this place gives me the creeps.
But most of the time, it feels like it doesn't know where to go, like if it's just trying to desperately hit that 1-hour mark. In fact, for most of the runtime, the 4 main characters don't even have to face those deadly devil worshippers. I mean, those fiends hang their dog and leave a couple of nasty rattlesnakes in the RV, but wouldn't it just make more sense to kill them right away, rather than just taunting them like that? I mean, that was the cult's first objective. It just makes more sense to me.
Oh, hell, you're drunk, Frank.
I think this movie receives praise because it brings back nostalgic memories of the drive-in period by people who went to see it back in the day. But if you put that aside, most of the famous car scenes take place at the end of the movie.
Shit.
I find it totally baffling that Race with the Devil gets this much praise and attention, because I think it's just a sluggish and tasteless piece of so-called action horror, which does nothing with the material it has. And overall, it makes for a film which never feels like it's ever getting going, and it raises more questions than answers. So yeah, I know I'm gonna be in the minority here for this one, but still, what an awful movie.